Yo,
Hey, welcome to the new meta, episode 133.
133.
133. This is going to be titled, Will My Internet Make It Through the Podcast?
Yeah.
That's the name of this episode.
Gosh.
I've been having the worst stability.
That sucks.
It does, man. My internet's died every stream I've done for almost 2 weeks now.
Imagine if I had just had to sit here and talk to the chat by myself. Ugh. Be like a live
chat?
stream or something.
What chat? Yeah, man. So anyways, we'll cross my fingers. Hopefully we make it through, but this could be a awkward. What did you say? Going digital moment. So, yeah, what's been going on with you, man? It's 13 degrees.
Yeah. Both of
Fahrenheit.
us.
I don't know what that is for you Celsius folk. You'll have to convert it.
It's negative 1,000.
Yeah, it's so cold, man. It's like, ooh, I feel bad.
Yeah.
I'm hoping that's why I'm having the internet issues, is that it's just so cold that
Internet's like, oh, it's a little chilly out.
internet's like, yo, it's too cold. I assume the techs are too like, I don't want to use the word lazy, but too afraid of the cold to go out there and fix whatever the problem is. They're like, oh man, it's working, dude. So we'll wait till it gets warmer.
Yeah.
But let's
It
see.
is fucking cold though. Oh my God.
It is it's ridiculous.
Have you had to go outside?
Have I had to? Yeah.
Ooh.
Went to the grocery store 2 days ago, and it was like 13 degrees or something like that. And it was ridiculous. Like I wore this big winter jacket and gloves and a stocking cap, and my hands were getting cold from my steering wheel from the gloves because I park my daily driver outside.
Yeah.
My wife gets a spot. We have a 2-car garage. My wife gets a spot, and then my vet gets the other spot. So my daily's outside, and I go get in it, and it's just icicle. My hands are freezing. By the time I get to the store, I'm like, oh my God, it's bad, dude.
Yeah.
Have you left the house in 2021?
I was like counting the times the other day. I was like, man, I think 2 or 3 times total.
For what? Groceries?
Groceries, and then Lindsay and I got a coffee, and then Lindsay and I got a cocktails once.
Some what?
Cocktails.
Okay. Let's see where.
You are literally a 7-year-old. If there's any sexual innuendo in any name or word, you're just like, what'd you say?
What was that? You got a nice jacket.
Anyways, for the adults in chat.
What about the poll?
Yeah. Let's get to the poll.
Let's talk about it.
Where are we?
He lost it.
I did. I can't find the button.
It's gone forever.
It might not be showing up.
That's okay. I'll read it.
No, I got it. I got it. Okay. Maybe. Here he goes. Professional podcast, by the way.
Yep. That's how you do it. 101.
Will Diablo 3 get any juice at BlizzCon Online? Yes or no? This is kind of ironic.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't know what you know. I don't know what I know.
Okay.
I don't know what I can even say.
Okay.
Okay.
What do you know that you can't say that you're going to say, that you're hinting at that you can't say that
well,
you
what
know?
Do you know? Do you know anything? What do you know?
No. Of course I don't know anything. I would have to say things if I knew something.
Okay. So, yeah, last week we talked about how like we were hitting kind of a big time lull in Diablo 3. It's getting pretty bad, right?
Yeah.
A lot of emo people on Reddit being like, Blizzard hates us. Blizzard doesn't love us anymore.
Blizzard hates us.
Basically, yeah, it was tough. But yeah, and then that's kind of how the last podcast ended. Like D3 is it's a ghost town, right? Mm-hmm. Like weeds moving through town and stuff like that. But it's pretty much like 2 or 3 days later, I started hearing some rumors of season 23.
Oh yeah, tell me about these rumors.
Listen. I can't say, but
okay,
dude, that's all I can say.
Yeah.
Dude, if that doesn't tell you everything you need to know.
So I've heard rumors too. Okay. But I don't know if I didn't know you know rumors. I didn't know that you knew that I knew rumors. So we didn't talk about it to know if our rumors match up.
True. That's true.
You know?
Yeah. So you heard 5 new character classes too, and
a whole new expansion.
Wow. Me too.
A whole new expansion with a 50-hour campaign, and
yeah, nutty.
New net code.
No, I mean,
space.
To be fair, like obviously, you know, we don't know anything, but if the rumors are true, then you know, I don't want to overhype it. I want to be careful to be overhyping it, right? Like, but
yeah, I'm the same.
Compared to, I think past seasons, if everything's true, I think season 23 will be actually pretty cool.
Yeah,
pretty damn cool.
Yeah, so the rumors that I'm hearing also, which are not confirmed through any source, it's probably the same stuff. It's going to be good, almost too good to be true.
Yeah,
you know, like I'm kind of like, man, I think somebody's blowing smoke.
Yeah,
but if it is true, then it'll be cool. It'll be a cool thing.
Totally.
But I'm not excited yet because it has to be real. Like if I see some PTR notes or a test, then I'm like, okay, it's actually gonna go down. So but we'll see what happens. So it'll be a big one for Diablo, though. It'll be the biggest one in a while. In
hopefully,
ever?
Hopefully, ever.
I don't know.
Yeah,
we'll see. But so the question is, are we gonna get any Diablo 3 get any juice?
Yeah, at
BlizzCon. I don't know if this is gonna if it'll happen at BlizzCon. I think it might be around that time frame, but I don't know if they would actually use BlizzCon stage to drop the info.
Well, I mean, like, this isn't like, will D3 get any juice at opening ceremony? This is, will Diablo 3 get any juice at BlizzCon line?
I don't know, man. I'm gonna say no. I don't think that they're gonna use any screen time for Diablo 3. I think I would be super surprised if we're gonna get they're gonna unveil the portrait frame and wings because those are gonna be based off Diablo 4 stuff.
Yeah.
Right. That's why they haven't. It's either that or it's
D2 Resurrected,
Diablo 2 remastered or whatever, reforged, whatever.
Resurrected.
Yeah, Resurrected. So so we're gonna get that. Does that count as juice? I would say no.
No.
Like we already know we're gonna get those things.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna vote no.
Well, okay. So I will vote the opposite of you because you know we have to. I think that there's got to be a reason behind all of the kind of radio silence, and I think that reason is maybe juice. Those kind of like juice. That's the only logical explanation for the complete and utter dead silence.
I think it's gonna be like BlizzCon 2019. Remember when 2019 hit and we got all that D4 stuff, and then the Diablo 3 forums were on fire. Like they were communicating and they were talking. I think it's gonna be like that. I think something about BlizzCon gets everybody excited at the team. You know, the whole Diablo team, not just Diablo 3, but everybody, right? They're all like, yeah, we got to show off our new stuff. The pressure is off. Like we're feeling good. Let's go talk with the people. Let's go mingle with the peasants. And then so they go out and they talk to us on the forums. I think it's going to be like that. I think it's going to be, we're going to get some dumps over the next couple of weeks or months after BlizzCon. But I don't think they're going to be like, yo, we're going to drop this juice for D3. I don't think we're going to get that at BlizzCon.
Okay. Well, you're wrong. You're wrong.
Okay.
Pretty split. 57 of the vote says yes, and 43% of the vote says no.
Okay.
So
43%.
44%.
You guys are right.
No, incorrect. You know? 56, the majority. And then for next week, this is a little topical. And it's going to be something we're going to talk about in just a minute. But let me just pop it. So the question is do you think Project Fenway is the fabled Diablo 2 Resurrected, or is it something new? Option 1, it's D2 confirmed. Option 2, something new. Exclamation point.
Confirmed. Okay. All
Okay.
right.
Which will kick us into our very first topic of the day. Tell us Fenway. Okay, so apparently by mistake, classic Blizz, employee Maxine Virtue's LinkedIn account
Good job, Maxine.
said, quote, having worked on an outsource and in-source management for Warcraft 3 Reforged, StarCraft 2, StarCraft Remastered / Cartooned Edition. What the hell does that even mean? Diablo 3 and Fenway partnered with 10 art studios, 10 freelance artists for a total budget of $7.5 million, which is, why would you even put this on your LinkedIn? Like, what are you doing?
This is the hold
like,
up.
it's a really weird thing to say, but
this is the hold up.
Yeah.
All of those games, what do they have in common?
Classic
teams.
Yeah.
You know?
But then it's like, okay, so what portion of that budget is D3, and have we seen any of that? And is that potential Diablo juice?
Got 50,000. They got 50,000.
They got $10. Yeah, $10. They went on Fiverr and had 2 projects going.
They went on Fiverr. They got some bids on Fiverr, man. Oh, stop it, dude. Yeah. You know what? Why would you put a total budget of 7.5
Right? Isn't that just weird?
Because, like, I don't know, man.
Does that make you more credible?
I'm not going to say anything because it just makes me, like, toxic, and I don't want to be. So that is weird to me, though. But all those games being classic is, man, I don't know, dude. It's got to be.
Yeah. So, so Fenway. Do you think that the other thing that's, like, weird is, so it's Fenway. Okay, so that's Diablo 2. And then Fenrir. Isn't that just cause internal confusion?
I don't know. That's what I was just getting ready to start talking about. I thought it was Fenris. Is it Fenrir? What was
Fenris,
D4?
Yeah.
Fenris? Yeah.
Was D4.
Fenway, Fenris. What was the canceled StarCraft project?
I don't know.
Called? Are they all Fen something? Diablo, or let's see. StarCraft. Was it a shooter?
Yeah, it was the StarCraft shooter that they broke down the team for.
And I would like to know if anybody
knows in chat,
just throw it out, because I'm curious what that was called, because I wonder if it's just like a naming convention,
maybe
Blizzard, or if it's just like the Diablo team. It's like Fen something. So
what
do you think? Where do you think they get these code names? Like, who gets to come up with the code name?
I don't know.
Like that's always interesting to me. Like Intel does it with their processors, and Skylake and Kirby Lake and whatever, all this, and then we got Fenway and Fenris for Diablo games. And when Sony was doing PlayStation Pro, it had a name that was from The Matrix. It was it called Neo? I think it was called PlayStation Neo, which I actually thought was cooler than PlayStation Pro.
Agreed.
I was like, they should have kept Neo. That's dope. But
I've only had to do this. Like, have you ever had to rename a project? So because it's like public stuff, I guess. I don't know. I had to do that one time when I was contracted for the state. It's like we were rewriting a very important application for like the state, and so we had to like we were Project Rapid Storm. We couldn't say what we were working on and stuff like that.
No, I've never had anything super top secret like that. It's cool though. I mean, I don't know. Like it's hey, I'm on the Fenway team. You know what I mean? I'm like, ooh, what's Fenway? I can't tell.
Or if you're working at Blizzard, I'm on Way. I'm on RIS.
Yeah, maybe. I'm on Fen. Are you a Fen?
Fen what?
You say Fen, you're like, oh, Diablo guy.
Yeah, I guess.
What are the Overwatch guys called?
Yeah. So maybe the first 3 letters is the game.
Yeah, it's
genre,
the IP, and then the way.
This is the way.
I'm from around the way. What are you doing?
But still, I also can't get over that little section. So like, okay, 7.5 million budget, and Diablo 3's in there. What did we get? Where did
that money go?
What did we get, and where did it go?
3 Reforged. Okay, that probably cost a little bit, right? If they rewrote the game.
Yeah.
And then StarCraft 2 doesn't get a lot of love, I don't think, but I could be wrong. I don't play it, but I don't actively see like, StarCraft 2 got this huge update.
Right.
StarCraft remaster. Did they remaster StarCraft 1? I don't know. If they have, then cool. Diablo 3 gets a little bit.
Ares was the project name.
Okay, so it's not Fen something. It's got to be D2 then, man.
Yeah.
Because why else would you name it Fenway and Fenris? Like, that's just too close.
Too confusing.
And who's obsessed with Fen over there? Is it somebody loves the little moose dude from Frozen? Yeah, you know what I'm saying. You never seen Frozen?
No, I haven't seen Frozen.
Lindsay,
I'm an adult.
No, listen. Lindsay is like, isn't she into the princess?
Of course.
Disney stuff? And what? And you haven't seen Frozen?
No, I have a strict rule of I'm an adult. I don't watch cartoons.
So you don't ever watch any of the Disney movies with her?
No, Disney, no Pixar.
But that's her thing. Right?
It's not her thing. She'll watch them, but it's not like
I thought you like took her to like a Disney thing.
Yeah, of course. She likes Disney, but it's not like her thing.
Okay. All right. I'm with you.
I'm an adult, P. I don't watch cartoons.
I've seen it. I have kids though, so that's my excuse.
Oh, okay. Okay, dude. All right. But yeah. The part that I keep struggling with and wrap my head around is like it says D3. So it's like,
is Maxine Virtue even a real name? Like let's like
true.
That's such a weird
Maxine Virtue.
Or
just Max Virtue? That's
seems what I'm saying,
unethical.
Man. Max Virtue. Like, is that even real? That's
a gamer tag, right?
Yeah, right. Max Virtue. Like, I don't know about this.
Yeah. So. Purposeful leak. Yeah. But then I'm like, why would you say 7.5 million? I don't know.
So maybe they're trying to say, like, listen, we only get 7.5 mil for all. How many games do we have? We have StarCraft Reforged, StarCraft 2, StarCraft 1.
You know what else is weird?
Diablo 3. So you got 4 games with 7.5 mil.
Maybe it's like a California / Silicon Valley thing, but if I had like an engineer who was like actively always updating his LinkedIn, I'd be like, is this guy looking for a job?
Of course you would.
Yeah, I'd be like, why are you on LinkedIn like all the time, updating your resume? I'd be like, get to work,
current, bro.
Yeah,
and you're like secretly waiting for somebody to try to snipe you.
Yeah. Okay. So. Well, good luck,
Maxine. Budget of 7.5 million, Maxine. How much did you launder?
How much
graphic
of that?
artist was your stepbrother, and you paid him like a mil for a thumbnail. So
how much of that was Fiverr? D3. Let's go. But yeah, so that's.
If you guys don't know what Fiverr, I'm going to tell people because maybe they don't even know what Fiverr is.
Right.
Fiverr is like a website where you can hire freelance graphic artists or just freelance everything for the most part. Like you can find anything on Fiverr. Fluff and I have both had our own individual experiences with Fiverr. It's pretty funny. So
yeah, I was trying to find that like bad art.
Yeah, but the rad art. We had our new Meta podcast logo was done for some guy on Fiverr, and it was hilarious. Like Fluff said, "Hey, I'm gonna get some guy off Fiverr to make our logo." I'm like, "All right, dope, let's do it." And he's like, "It was cheap, man. Like it was like
five fucking bucks."
yeah. So Fluff's like, "Yeah, we're making a gaming podcast. You know, just throw." And this guy sent back like a controller and headphones, and it was bad, man. It was like I was like, "Dude, no, no, there's no way." So it's funny.
Yeah.
What else we got?
A lot. Okay.
So.
Lately, I don't know if you noticed this on Twitter, which by the way, guys, you should follow us on Twitter. Diablo's going ham. I don't know if you noticed that or not. They were like, my phone's blowing up because like Diablo and POE are like the two things that I follow, and then I have notifications turned on for. And Diablo's going crazy lately. And I thought these little short videos, are actually pretty well done. They did one for the Challenge Rift, but immediately my brain was like, okay, so this week the Challenge Rift build is like real kind of. It's bad, but it's like it's not the worst one we've ever seen, right? And so like I just got my head thinking like, these things are popping up, right? It's like embodiment of the Marauder, and like all these pop-ups, and it's just like if it was a bad week, it'd just be like question mark, and then you move to the next screen like what the hell? I don't know. Yeah.
The problem is if somebody actually had never played the Marauder set and you went and played this, you're gonna be like, this set sucks.
Yeah,
you know
true.
what I mean?
Yeah.
And so it's unfortunate that they're hyping these challenge rifts. Like either handpick some good ones or don't waste that effort. Like unless they have some really good templates where they can just plug a couple screenshots in, which they probably do. You know, the graphic designer that's doing this is clearly skilled, so I'm sure they, you know. But this took time. Somebody spent time making this, and it's like, you know,
this
it sucks. It's this
more
like,
thought out than the challenge rift. I feel like
yes, like this took more time than the challenge rift selection. I promise.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So, where's my link to my challenge rift guide, Liz? What the hell? Put it right underneath there.
Yeah,
gotcha.
That's the way.
Good.
Yeah. I think that. Gosh, you know, when we look at challenge rift, still we could have that whole conversation again, but what a disappointment.
Yeah. It is cool that they're active. So this to me makes me think that they got new
D3 coming stuff.
That makes me think they got new team members.
Yeah, they do actually. So they have a new Twitter person.
Oh, okay. So the Twitter person, you think he made
social
this
media? I think it's a girl.
The social media person, lady, was like.
I think I don't know anything about that, but I know they have a new social media.
Like I got some Photoshop. I got some creative Premiere Pro. I got some After Effects skills. Let's do it. I got you.
Yeah, I mean, it looks good. Honestly, like these recent posts look really good.
Yeah, I mean, I've made stuff, and that's above my skill level.
Oh yeah,
for sure. That's good stuff, man. Like, so
it's unfortunate that it's coming like kind of this late, though.
Yeah, it does suck. It sucks that the challenge rift system isn't utilized properly, and it sucks that this much effort is being put into that system. But it gives you hope that, hey, we got somebody that's making things. So when good things drop, like we'll get some press, man. We'll get some notes.
Yeah.
I'm following I didn't see this somehow. I need to check my Twitters.
Maybe this could be like a ramp up, right? Like, so these are really good posts. Maybe they're ramping up to get more attention for D3. Get something's about to go down.
Maybe.
What
kind of thing could go down, Fluff? What do you think?
What do you think?
What do you think?
What do you think, buddy?
I don't know, buddy. You tell me.
What do you think?
What are you thinking about?
Cool things. You know, I can't even.
You should follow me on Twitter.
Because there's things, and it's like, if they're true, it's like someone watches. You know what I mean? Kind of thing. That's all.
We should have talked about this before, because I want to know if you know. Because I want to know if we're hearing the same things. You know what I mean? Hold on, we'll be right back, guys. We gotta go off. We'll be right.
Let's read our lips.
Yeah. So.
But yeah. And then, you know, did you see this? So this guy, this rapper, Lil Uzi.
Oh, that's Lil Uzi.
I don't even know who that is. I literally don't even know this. But he put a $24 million diamond in his face. But it's
permanently?
Yeah. But
why wouldn't you just like rip it out real quick?
Yeah, that's of course. There's so many impractical implications, and this is so stupid, right? Like, this is the epitome of just stupid culture. But like, he put it in the center of his forehead, and so Diablo, whoever's mentioning Diablo, retweeted, like, because that was from Diablo 2, right? The guy puts the soul stone in his forehead, and so Diablo retweets, "Return of the red soulstone mortal, you cannot contain the Lord of Terror."
All right, that thing's plastic and it's fucking glued to his head. There's no way that's a real diamond and it's surgically implanted. What doctor would do that? Like, first off,
it's California, man. What do you know?
Do you think? Oh my god, dude! I'd be like, man, I don't know, dude. I don't think I'm gonna get sued out of my ass for this. I think I'm gonna pass. But
what a weird effing thing to do. This is hilarious, by the way. But
there's no way that's real. We're gonna revisit this next week, because I'm gonna Google this and be like, was this a hoax?
There's no way it's actually real. Yeah.
Yeah, like, I think he's just pulling people's
legs. Dude's walking around with a $24 million diamond in his head.
Why do you have $24 million to spend on a stupid ass diamond?
Apparently, he's been paying on it since like 2017, according to the story.
What?
Just to walk around with a stupid diamond in his face.
All right, I'm done. I'm done with that. That's dumb.
There's some really dumb shit. Like what else could you do that signals to the rest of the world like I'm a piece of shit than put a $24 million diamond in your face?
Okay, so here's the real question. You're walking down the street, okay? And his name is Little, so I'm assuming he's a little guy. He doesn't look very big. Right?
No,
He's walking by himself down the street, and you see him, and you're like, oh, that's a $24 million diamond. Do you take him? Do you see if you can rip the diamond out of his head? Or do you just
like would anyone find out or?
No, I mean like we'll assume it's the middle of the night. Nobody knows that it was Lord Fluffy that stole the diamond. It's just you and him in the alley.
It is a pink diamond. I feel like I should like put it on display back here or something. But
yeah, mount it to your mic.
No, it's obviously he must have this insane posse of people around him 24/7. But
I would assume
you'd have to trust one of those dudes.
He's not. He's walking down the alley.
Yeah, like come on.
You got Lindsay to go like, hey, you're really cute. Come outside with me. And he's like, okay. Give me your diamond. She's like, I like handcuffs. And she's like,
but then is it the soul stone and you're gonna rip it out and then you're gonna put it in your own face? Oh no.
Maybe it's got that power.
Yeah.
Could be.
But anyways, I thought that was funny that Diablo took advantage of that. And then this I found actually to be really, really interesting is this guy posts on Reddit, and this is about D3, how we see D4 has crit and crit damage. Like we know that that's a thing.
Yeah.
And he kind of posts like, don't people really hate crit and crit damage? You know, because it is such a negative thing, and it was wild to me to read this because it's like Diablo 3 has created such a negative association for crit and crit damage in like ARPGs. So now if you see like crit and crit damage in the next iteration of Diablo, you're kind of like memeing already. But it's not that crit and crit damage is the problem. It's just like in Diablo 3, that's literally the only way to really ramp up your damage unless you're playing Thorns. Like one build in the entire game doesn't benefit from crit and crit damage. So
yeah, it's like that in a lot of games that have that stat though too. Like Division 2 also has crit and crit damage and other stats, but those two are by far more important than anything else.
Really?
You know, you're always going for those stats.
The POE is totally different, right? And we did that podcast like 50 podcasts ago where we listed like at least 30 plus different ways of scaling your damage that had nothing to do with crit. And yeah, you can scale your crit in PoE and you could build your character to be a crit character, but there's like a million other ways to scale your damage. And I think that's the big problem with D3 is like there's just one way. And that's why it's so cringe. It's not that crit's the problem.
Yeah, or the billion zeros on the end of skills.
Yeah, or set bonuses, you know, like just instantly like, giving 10,000. Yeah.
So I'm scared. I'm scared that those affixes are going to take over D4 if they're in the game. That's, you know, just the way it is. But they shouldn't scare you. I guess that's kind of like what we're both saying. But yeah, man. When I start seeing crit and crit damage, I'm gonna be a little nervous. I'm like, oh, are we gonna go down this road again? Where it's like, all right, so here's what we're doing, guys. You want to get these pieces, and you want crit damage on every slot. You know, blast cannon.
Yeah. You know what's wild? You know, I've been so into PoE this league, and I've actually made, you know, a handful of alts, and even like the equivalent probably in Path of Exile for like a brand new character, like getting power levels, like kind of giving yourself like a Tabula Rasa, like a 6 link at level 1. You know.
Yeah.
But even then, like you still have to ramp. There's like ramping that's happening as you're progressing your character. Like you're ramping up to do your damage. And there's no like one thing that you're instantly going to throw on really and just like be able to blow up T16 maps. Whereas, you know, in Diablo 3, it's like you just like you go from T1 and then you finish your set bonus and all of a sudden you're T16. Like it's just such a I mean, we've talked about it 100 times over, but it really drives it home making all these like characters and PoEs. Like there's no one build that I've played where you just put on one item and then you're red map ready. Like it just doesn't.
Yeah, it's insane. Like it's insane how fast progression happens in Diablo. It's almost like all the other tiers shouldn't even really exist. You know what I mean? It's like just put in normal T1 and T16 because that's basically what you do. I think I preferred the game when the ramping process was slower. I mean, I remember running T Torment 3s way back in like pre-season, before season 1, maybe, you know, probably pre-season, and just grinding those out to go up to the next level. I don't know, man. It becomes a thing though. I think as Diablo 3 players, we have it stuck in our head that we want to smash the highest difficulty we possibly can all the time. And I don't want to be pigeonholed into the meta where at least with T16s, we can play all those other builds that maybe can't do, you know, higher torment, greater rifts. And so if the progress was slower, maybe we would be more pigeonholed into those meta builds all the time, like instantly. I don't know. I don't know if that'd be good, but the progress definitely should be slower. I feel like it should be slower. I think that's why the game's old after a week already in the season. Right. By the end of the first week in the season, you're rocking your whatever set you have every item you need, and it's probably ancient.
Right. There's no ramping anymore.
Yeah.
It's just like instant top. And then like some ramping, I guess, as you min-max, but it's like there's no giant, like the giant boost should not exist. And that's unfortunately what happens with sets. But yeah, I just thought that was interesting. Is like there's so many people that meme on crit, but it's like it's not really crit's fault. It's Diablo's fault.
It will be in Diablo 4.
Yeah,
for sure.
It should be. Guaranteed. It's a way of scaling damage. But if it's the only way, and it's one of 5 ways, then that's pretty cringe again. So hopefully,
like we don't really have bleed builds in D3.
We don't really have dot builds in D3.
That's what I'm saying. Like we could use bleed builds, dot builds, poison builds. We could do. I mean, we have thorns builds already, but that's just another way we should keep in there. I don't know, man. There's just so many different ways.
Yeah. I wish I had the episode of the podcast where we like drilled down in like 30. But
yeah, it's crazy how much cool stuff. And if those things are in there, then crit won't matter. Like it won't be like, oh, I got to stack crit because I'm going to do a bleed build. I'm going to stack bleed. I'm going to do a poison build. I'm going to stack poison. I'm going to do whatever, man. I mean, like POE, for instance, you can just off the character I've played, I could go Impale with the Lacerate Gladiator. I could go Bleed with the Gladiator. I could go
straight up Fizz, like hit
just
hard.
Physical damage. Yeah, there's crit builds that people run with it. So there's like 4 variations of the exact same thing that I'm playing.
Right.
That are all comparable. And like that to me is really cool because it's like, I didn't even realize that was kind of a thing. And I started playing and I'm like, well, people are like, what do you play? I'm like, Lacerate Gladiator. And then as I get further and further, they're like, well, what variant are you playing?
Yeah, exactly.
And I'm like, I don't, whatever this guide has me playing. It's like, I got Impale and Bleed nodes. And people are like, oh, that's kind of weird. Why would they have you do that? And so we talked about it. And then I'm like, yeah, I think it'd be better if I didn't. And we went straight Bleed, you know? So I'm going to respec it. But it's just interesting though, because it's like, oh, that's cool. There's like different ways to play the same thing.
Yeah.
You know? So
that's what we just mentioned last week. It's like 100 of us, all of us in chat, and you and I could be playing the same build, and none of us look the same, and that would never happen in a Diablo game.
No, you'd be like, "Oh, you're doing Bone Spear. That's cool. So you have this. This.
How good's your Shadow Hook? You know, like, it's not like what are you running? You know?
Yeah, mine's got 10 more top damage than yours.
Sick, dude.
You know?
Yeah, it's crazy. The build variation that happens in PoE. But yeah, so that was kind of that story that I kind of found to be interesting. And then this blows my mind. Okay, so the Diablo or the Blizzard quarterly investor call happened, which I still actually have to listen to because we usually pull out a bunch of cool stuff from that. But I haven't listened to it yet. But I guess as part of that, they made it very abundantly clear that, Overwatch 2 and Diablo 4 will not launch in 2021. And so this guy tweets it out and like all these people are like, what the fuck, dude? Like thousands of people.
Yeah. If that would have said 2022, I still may not have been shocked. I still would have been like, I kind of figured.
I can't believe there's actually a massive group of people out there that actually thought we were going to get Diablo 4 this year.
Let me be fair about this. I think I kind of did expect Overwatch 2. I expected Overwatch 2 potentially in 21 because They unveiled it at BlizzCon 19. It's been a year and a half since then. The game looked like it was kind of far along at that point. Like
it
we
looked
had
far along, but it was like shit.
It wasn't fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't fun.
I think
And
maybe
I like
that's
Overwatch.
what
This
has
is
drawn
coming from
it
an
out.
Overwatch fan.
Yeah.
Like I don't play a lot anymore, but I genuinely I can fire Overwatch up right now and I'll have fun for hours. Like anytime I start playing, I lose track of time. I have a good time. But it wasn't super fun though.
We were like counting down the time until your demo was over.
Yeah, I was like, this sucks. We were gonna leave. So here's the thing: is we were playing this demo, and we were in the media room. So it wasn't like the open floor where you're matched with lots of people. It was just like a small group of people. And one of the media guys had his daughter with him. I guess I don't know. She was camera girl or something, but. And we're playing, and I'm just like, man, this isn't fun, dude. And I was like, let's roll. And then I realized, like, if we leave, then these two people on our team are gonna, have a crappy time. So we ended up sticking it out. And I'm like, Fluff and I kept like, dude,
how much longer?
It's like, let's lose. Let's just lose quick.
Yeah.
So,
but we did the same thing with Shadowlands. Shadowlands, we straight up got up and left. Like we didn't finish that at all.
Yeah, it was bad. It was super bad. We did something though. Was it 18 or 19 where we were at BlizzCon and we were in line? It was me and you, and we're like, we're gonna wreck these noobs right in front of us. It was a bunch of kids right in front of us,
and then we new character came out.
Yeah. Oh, Jesse. Yeah. We went in and wrecked those kids. That was a good time.
Yeah.
Picking on them.
Yeah.
Oh man.
With bad keybinds too.
So I was, I'm surprised at Overwatch. Diablo 4 and zero surprise in that for me.
Yeah.
Like if they said 2023 launch window, I'd be like, okay,
cool.
I don't even know if they're gonna hit that.
Right. Yeah. So. And I think that if we examine, right, Riker did a video recently where he was like, these are my predictions. And I tuned into a little bit to the Diablo section, but he brought up one good point in that video where he talked about Diablo 3 and how it was announced versus when it was released. So Diablo 3 was like announced, and then like they announced like some of the character classes, and then the following year they announced like another one, and the following year they announced another one, and then the following year they released it. So if we follow that same pattern, we expect to get one this year, and then in 2022 we'd get another one. And then 2023, we get a release of D4 if it followed that same pattern.
Yeah, that would be disappointing to have to wait that long. Just because selfishly, I'm thinking like, how is D3 going to carry for the next 2 to 3 years?
It might not. It might be D2.
That's what I'm saying. It's like I hope maybe that's Fenway,
or just some crazy stuff coming for D3.
Not that crazy. I mean, listen, I don't want to be the overhype man.
Yeah. What's crazy to us could be not crazy to somebody else. It's all relative, Yeah,
I suppose. We'll see if they deliver on the rumors that I'm hearing too. But if Fenway, I hope Fenway is not Diablo 2 remastered.
Really? What would you want Fenway to be?
A whole new IP.
A whole new IP, just something.
A whole new game.
Like, Blizzard doing something original? No.
Well, listen, they can copy somebody else and do it better. Like that's fine.
So what's a really popular game that they would copy that they're not already like covered?
I don't know. Let's think about it. What could they do? What genre out there has Blizzard not dabbled in?
Single player story games?
No, I don't want that.
Yeah, nobody does.
No, let's do something. Actually, that's not true. Cyberpunk would disagree.
I know everyone wants that crap, and I don't understand. But
what else could we hit, man? So they got a shooter. They got
the BR. Activision owns COD, so I don't think they would go against their own company for competition.
They could do a looter shooter. They still, I mean,
that's true. They dropped Destiny. Yeah, maybe, and that's one we talked about that forever ago. We were like, maybe they dropped because Destiny was like, what the fuck? This is our game genre.
Yeah, maybe. Could be.
StarCraft looter shooter.
StarCraft looter shooter would be the shit. Like that would be good, man.
It's Fenway.
It's got a good story. It's got characters you already established and know the universe is set up for it. You got your alien Zerg, you got your Protoss, like you got aliens to pew pew. Like it could be good, man.
You're saying a lot of words. I don't understand them.
Yeah, people who played StarCraft would though. They would get it. They would understand. The dude with the big helmet, I can't remember his name, smokes the cigar. Oh man, it slipped my mind. But yeah, it's gonna be. I hope it's a new IP. I would like to see new things. Diablo 2 remastered or reforged or revisited, whatever they're gonna call it. What is it again? Resurrected,
yeah. Just think Necro.
Yeah. I don't know. Like it's cool, but I don't think anybody wins in that scenario. I think the D2 hardcore D2 fanboys win if they stay true to the original. And that's not me. So selfishly, I'm gonna be like, I don't care. And then if they change it, then the hardcore D2 fanboys are upset and squeaking a lot and like super mad. And if they don't do it right, then nobody wins. You know?
Right. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I just like we pray. It's so weird because like you've got so many different ballparks here. Because like we hope for something fresh, but like that D2 spin and that it would be sexy because I think itemization is actually still good in D2, but the fact that you can't really grind it in a cool way, it sucks. And so like, yeah, we're hoping for that, but you know, if they did that and they didn't have a true, like, if they didn't have a separate game mode that was like, this is your original game, play it, then people would freak out.
People would still freak out, even if it was, how dare you? Like, you can't change this. And now the player base is segregated.
Right.
And like,
that,
you know,
that goes against their whole thing.
That's true. But yeah, it's
like we can't separate player bases. Like, that's the whole reason they want to do the immortal, like hardcore versus softcore, or an immortal server that you could like not pay to win. They didn't want to separate any of the audience. So why would they do that with Diablo 2? Are they going to do that with Diablo 4? Is there even going to be hardcore in D4?
That's the thing. I don't know. That's a good question. We've talked about that, I'm sure. With the online servers being how they are, I don't see how they could, though. Because I think they're forcing people. I think they specifically said you can never group with another player if you don't want, but that doesn't mean you won't cross the paths with one or something like that.
Well, why would that matter? Because you can play hardcore in SSF and POE and you see other players all the time.
Not out in the wild killing the world boss.
No, but like in shared instances, wouldn't that be the same or no?
I don't know. I mean, if you're out in the wild killing a world boss in SSF, does that count as SSF if somebody else is helping you kill the boss?
Yeah, I don't know. And that's why I've always wondered is like
that's pretty gray area.
I don't know if they could. Yeah, could they really do true SSF by having world bosses? I don't know.
Because because I'm sure we could manipulate that. We could be like, okay, Fluff, you're making a new character. I already have my character. I'm gonna come to the area and we'll keep somehow manipulating till we're in the same lobby.
Yeah.
And then I'm gonna kill this boss for you. And now you have this badass leveling weapon or something.
Yeah.
You
or
know
you
what
just
I mean?
tell your chat like, hey, I'll be in zone X killing the world boss. If you want to carry, you know.
Yeah, and people just show up and start killing it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, or they control you and kill you. I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody just teleports out in the middle of the encounter. But yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know if you could do it. I mean, I guess it's true. It's SSF, but it's not like a true SSF, you know? So.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, Blizzard is obviously not a big fan of the SSF period. I don't know. They haven't done it in any of their games, unfortunately. I love it. So
the problem with SSF now is like everything's online. And so shitty internet connections, server instability, there's so much more pressure to keep a good network, which seems to be harder and harder to maintain. Like, think about PoE. Like, you've been playing softcore, but if you're on a hardcore PoE, like I've had trouble with this league with connections and stuff, and my internet's been crappy too, so it could have been on me. But and then Diablo's been, the last couple seasons have been pretty
awful,
worse every single season.
Yeah, to
the point where it's like I don't even know how people are playing hardcore. Like, there's no way. Like, I'm getting huge crazy lag spikes.
Yeah.
So I don't know, man. Like, single hardcore and like a solo game that's local and there's no risk of lag. I get that. I don't, but dying to lag, dying to internet, that's horrible. I don't know.
I don't know. think we had one more topic, but I can't remember. Pull the schedule. Okay. No, that was pretty much it. So one of the things I saw though was Wolcen.
Oh yeah.
So Wolcen came out with a post development update. That was basically kind of like, I mean, we kind of heard the same thing that they said, okay, we're gonna come on Blood Trail, but we're gonna focus on bugs.
Yeah.
And they basically just come out and said it again. So like they're not gonna add more content to the game until they get the game in a more like bug-free state. Still.
I like how they bolded "We are listening."
Yeah.
It's like, oh, we heard that before.
We're listening, but sometimes we can't understand because we're French. Sometimes Google Translate.
Isn't that? Oh, no. I'm sorry, man. Diablo said we hear you.
Yeah.
What did
no, I mean, Diablo said we were listening as well.
Was it listening as well?
No, what we hear you was their one message from BlizzCon 2018.
Yeah, we hear you.
But they've said we are listening a lot.
Do you though?
Yeah. But so, yeah, if you read the bold statements, we are listening and focusing on improving the game. Our teams are fully focused on categorizing and fixing issues sorted by priority. 7 patches for the Blood Trail Chronicle. Our goal is to release our update on a regular basis. We are also working on adding a beta test branch on Steam for our community. So we're going to have a PTR coming to Steam.
Cool.
Beta test stuff, which they should have done from day one.
When did that drop in March of 2019?
I don't even remember anymore.
It's been a long time. I haven't played it. I played the campaign and beat the campaign, and that was it. I pretty much hung it up.
Yeah, I played really hard, and we got eventually killed because we'd fall through the world and all those memes, and it was such a buggy mess. But I honestly I do think that Wolcen has potential. I recently went back and played Blood Trail, and I did find myself enjoying the game. Like I like the builds you can make. There's not that much diversity, unfortunately, but a lot of that comes from okay, there's different ways to scale your damage, like what you're just talking about, but hardly any of them are any good still.
Yeah.
So it's like,
do they ever fix the talent tree bugs? Like, are they actually working?
Yes and no. Like they released Blood Trail, and I guess the game was in a bit of a stable state-ish for Wolcen, whatever that means. And then, Blood Trail introduces a ton of new bugs. So it's like, it was kind of cringe going back to Wolcen just to experience brand new bugs. Yeah. And so it's really hard to and one, people are always like, well, would you play it or would you buy it? And if Wolcen was $10 and you're just a diehard ARPG fan, okay, maybe. But the fact it's still full price, $39.99 after all this time and all that shit that they've gone through, no way I'm going to tell you to buy Wolcen.
Yeah. I think that's the thing, man. I think it boils down to how much of an ARPG fan are you?
Yeah.
And how much of a campaign players are you? Because if you're into campaign and you like that stuff and you like ARPGs, it's got a good campaign. It's an ARPG. The story's pretty predictable, I felt, but it's there. And the bosses were on launch hard as hell, with my broken build at least. Yeah. It was a okay thing, but for $40, I didn't get $40 worth of juice out of it personally. But if you like ARPGs, man, do it up. Is Blood Trail free? Is it?
Yeah.
Is it included? Yeah, that's cool. At least.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I don't know. I honestly think
POE is free, and you could get more enjoyment out of it.
Yeah.
So listen, I'm not an advocate, but if you haven't played PoE, I would do that before Wolcen.
Well, yeah, I say that all the time. If you haven't played Grim Dawn, if you play the crap out of Diablo 3 and you play the crap out of PoE and you're like, man, I want to try something else, then you go to Grim Dawn. And then if you're looking for something else beyond that, because you've played a lot of Grim Dawn, I don't know that I still would be like, oh yeah, Wolcen. But I don't know that there's that's the problem with this market, this game genre that we all love, is that there's literally nothing. Yeah. Right. And it's would we be sitting here doing a Diablo 3 podcast if there was a lot of isometric ARPGs to choose from and that were good? I don't know.
It would be an ARPG podcast. It wouldn't be focused on D3, which it kind of has branched off a little bit. You know what I mean? So we don't.
But if say poof tomorrow, a a game comes out called Fenway, and it's not a Blizzard game or something like that. It's just like a new RPG, and it's the best. Like both of us are gonna play it. Like it's not like I mean, for me personally, it's not like I'm a Blizzard fanboy or anything, or a GGG. I'm a GGG fanboy a little bit, but it's not like any of these games like hold any weight over me. If I'm playing the best ARPG, I don't care what it is or who made it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm playing games. I'm with you, but I like fun games. Like period. If it's a good game and I'm having fun, I'm gonna play it. And I like ARPGs a lot. So like that's a genre that I'm into. The problem is we just don't have juice, man. You know?
Yeah.
We don't have any good ARPGs to choose from except for PoE and Diablo 3 when we get content.
Yeah.
You know?
2
and
weeks every 3 months of Diablo 3, basically.
Yeah, 2 weeks every 3 to 6 months.
Yeah, 3 to 6. That's true.
So every 3 to 6 months, we get a really fun weekend of Diablo 3, and not like, dude, that's cool, man.
That's it's like great for free. It's by the way, yeah,
fun ass weekend, right? Like those weekends are amazing. And then PoE's free, so you can play it. It'd be really hard to play without a couple tabs, but you can jump in there and do it for free. And then after that, it's like, well, there's no RPG. Like, I'm not just gonna play an ARPG because it's ARPG. I'm gonna go play another genre that's fun. Like, I'll play WoW, I'll play whatever. Like Red Dead Online is $5. That game is the most fantastical $5 you could spend if you want to do some Wild Wild West stuff for $5. You know what I mean? So there's a bunch of things that are fun. So you could put $100 in that and be happy, you know? So it just depends on what you're into.
Yeah.
But not 40. Like
no.
Wolcen's 40, Red Dead Online's 5. If you asked me what to spend your money on, say take the other 35, put it back in your wallet, and then go buy that $5 game you can get a couple $100 out of, you know?
Yeah.
So, or spend that $40 on tabs and PoE, and you'll be set, you know?
Right. I mean, I do, at the end of the day, I do think that Wolcen has potential to be fun. I think they keep adding patches like this. Like it's kind of like PoE's story to me a little bit. Like the game came out and it definitely had a lot of potential. It had its share of bugs and the end game wasn't very fun. But, you know, look at PoE now. Like they never stopped making content. And eventually you had this really thick, robust game. It's poggers.
I think PoE is building itself up in a position like World of Warcraft did. And I think potentially there could be a MMO that could rival WoW vanilla. But that's not what you're playing. When you play WoW, you're playing 16 years of evolution and content.
Right.
You know what I mean? And that's what PoE is doing, man. PoE keeps adding league after league and learning from their mistakes and adding all these things. And before you know it, 10, 15 years is going to go by. And then you're going to have this ARPG, especially if PoE 2 keeps in all that original content. It's like WoW. They never made WoW 2. There's a reason. It's because they have all this content in WoW. Like PoE's following that same model. They're like, we're just going to keep adding shit into the game, and then pretty soon we'll have so much stuff you can't even.
Yeah, it's unfortunate that there's no Diablo game that they would really do that for. Like we want that to be D3, but there's like probably thousands of players. If Diablo 3 got an expansion tomorrow, they're still not interested because it's Diablo 3. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it's like they don't even have a game that they would even build upon in the RPG, and that's going to be one of the tough things I think when Diablo 4 comes out, because it is going to be a brand new RPG. You don't have years upon years upon years of stacked content, right? And so it's going to be competing
and it's coming in with the hype. It's going to have that cyberpunk problem. Like I don't care like what cyberpunk delivered. There was no way it was going to live up to the hype.
Right.
And it did under deliver. Like I bought Cyberpunk, I played it, and it's a good game. It was a fun game, but it wasn't even a fraction of the hype. Like it was like, yo, this is like on par with other AAA titles, maybe even slightly below. Like, the story wasn't super original and the gameplay had a lot of different things, but it was worse than the competitors at like Cyberpunk's story was okay. It seemed like they stole shit from Arkham Knight, which that's a whole debate I can get into some other day. They driving mechanics is worse than GTA 5. Shooting mechanics is worse than any shooter you've ever played. And the story was kind of borrowed from somebody, and they had all these systems, and it's like, so they got all the things. They're like, well, you need driving, and we need shooting, and we need puzzles and crafting. And so like they had all these teams do these things and then put it into a game, but it's like they weren't better at any of them than their competitors. You know what I mean? And so Diablo is going to be in the same problem, I feel like, with D4, is it's going to have so many eyes on it, and it's like, okay, we dropped it, and the people are instantly going to compare it to Path of Exile. Like that's going to be the biggest comparison, right?
Yep.
And they're going to be like, dude, this skill system isn't even close. The skill tree is not even close. The customization on abilities and plays is not even close.
The things to do, not even close. Yeah.
Yeah, and you're just gonna be like, well, it's because it's brand new. Give it time. So,
but it's hard. That's hard. That's a hard thing to really say. It's like, even as a diehard Diablo fan, I'm gonna be hyped if Diablo 4 comes out and say Diablo 4 is great when it first releases. But you players like us, I'm playing 10 plus hours a day of POE right now. How long does that vanilla Diablo 4 content last us? Are we burned out in a month? I don't know.
Yeah, there's nothing to do.
If there's nothing to do,
and then does it become like, oh, you streamer, you went through all the content in a week, you're stupid? Or is it like, no, they should have more stuff?
How good is the replayability of what there is to do? And again, maybe that improves. Like maybe a year after Diablo 4 comes out, they had at least 4 leagues, and we've got new content being added every 3 months, and so now there's like 4 different things at least you can do, and maybe it becomes a better game. But vanilla is gonna be very tough, I think, for Diablo 4 to be like this really fantastically replayable game when it first comes out versus PoE 2. PoE 2 is gonna have light years.
Hopefully they know that, and hopefully they know that, and they have. That's why we're getting delays to get these systems, to get these loops.
Yeah.
Hopefully they'll let people play test and be like, okay, so I'm going to do this activity repeatedly for months. No, come on, man. Or like, yeah, this is really cool. Like, what else you got? How do these systems interconnect and stuff? And I think that's some of the things that PoE does really good too, is like, you want to delve? Cool. You got to get sulfite. You got to get that delve juice from maps or from whatever you're doing to do it. You just don't go do that activity. You have to earn the activity a little bit. Or I guess a lot of it works that way, the temples or most of the things, even the maps themselves, which is weird to me. I kind of expected it to be like, oh, you can just go run these once you learn them or do them, but nope. It's like, you got to farm them, you got to find them. So
yeah, that's one of the things I've really, really noticed this league. And I think that PoE's done something this league that is really kind of, I think, going to set the standard going forward, because with the Atlas skill trees, they've essentially added, obviously, replayability, but it's added so much flow to the game. It's insane. So basically, before you'd kill your awaken rate, and then it's like, okay, well, I got to respawn my conquerors. Maybe I'll knock out some master missions along the way. Oh, I filled up my delve. I need to go run that. Okay, I finally did my temple. I need to go and that was okay. Like it was good replayable, and it was fun. Obviously, we've played a ton of PoE in the past, but now it's like, man, it's like a whole nother level. I've killed Awakener 8. Okay, now I'm sitting on like 20 Zana master missions, and if I run it in Hamlet, and I spawn a Conqueror there, I'm both progressing my Awakener kill, plus I'm getting the Zana missions that I need for the Hamlets, because in Hamlet I can get more harvest crafts, and it's like there's so much more happening now, and it's so addicting, and the flow is so good. Like, I can't say that enough. Like, this league is
the flow of standing in town looking at loot, or the flow of killing. No, I'm just being sarcastic.
Yeah, just the flow. It's just so good, this league.
Yeah, that's the only thing. And like I said, maybe because I'm newer, the only thing to me is I feel like I spend as much time not killing things as I do killing things. I'm constantly like, all right, I need to look this up. I need to figure out what maps should I be running. What should I do? How do I juice them? Let's find this or do that. And I'm not just pew. And sometimes I'm just like, I'm just going to run maps. I don't even care. I don't even care what it does. I'm just going to throw this in and run it because I want to kill things. So I don't know if that gets better as you get more experienced and you run things more, but I don't know a way around it though. I think that's part of the game when you're getting loot and you need things and you're working on builds and you're figuring out atlases and like which way to go and what things to do. I think there's time where you're just not killing. And like just think about the opposite of D3. Like in D3, how much time are you spending in town? A couple seconds.
Yeah.
Like literally just
there's no crafting, there's nothing. It's just
that's what I'm saying. You know, so it's like it's such a drastic 180 from, you know, it's like a 50-50 mix in PoE to like a 90-10 mix in Diablo. So
yeah. And
so yeah,
that goes back to the whole like, you know, when we were in that QA panel, and I think it was Ziz that asked, like, you know, there's players in PoE that just sit there and in town all league and they craft and they sell, and that's their game and they love that, right? Mm-hmm. Will D4 do that? And he's basically like, nah. You know, like no,
like no, bro. You might sell some Lilith runs or something, but
and that was sad. You know, I think that you need to have a crafting system that's almost that intense or that kind of enjoyable, or that you can really just grind on, and that's what I'm concerned for. I think that Harvest as a mechanic is just a great ARPG mechanic that any ARPG I think could copy if their itemization is good enough. If you've got like prefixes, suffixes, or, you know, items with a lot of stats, I don't think this works as well. I don't think this would be a good system in like D3 and D4, because you only got like 4 affixes in D4, and there's a lot of items that will probably only have 3. And so the idea of like exalt slamming on a 4 statted item isn't that exciting. But like when you make it 6, when you make it 8, it becomes like, wow, like the crafting can get really, really intense.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just so good. Like there's just ways you could implement little things like that, even in D3, even in like Immortal, if you wanted to, just like little currency crafting that's like super addicting, super min-maxing, and it's just fun. So
yeah, it's I find trading fun, honestly. Like
really?
I think that helps a lot with me getting into PoE, because I think it's addicting just watching the currency stack up. And like I'm not rich by any means, but as a new player, okay, so I've probably had like, I don't know what, maybe 50 chaos orbs drop for me personally, like drop in the world, and I'm just guessing, I have no idea. But I've earned hundreds and hundreds, right, from selling items and doing things. So, and that currency has let me buy the pieces that make my build stronger. So for me, it was fun, and it was fun to make the currency. It's like, oh yeah, just sold this for 90C. I'm good. You know what I mean? Like that's baller. So little things like that, I think I can definitely see the segment of population that would be into that kind of thing, and just like, yeah, I don't really care about running stuff. Like I'm gonna sit here and trade. Well, like that's not me. Like I definitely want to pew pew, but you know, I could see people doing that. I could see people sitting in town all day, just flipping the auction house. You know, so
that's cool. If you play Trade League, like a scumbag. Yep.
Yeah. I haven't gotten, so I've been offered lots of things like, oh man, I'll give you this, I'll give you that. Like, and like, yeah, I'm like, no, I'm not taking any handouts. And like somebody's like, oh, I have that, I'll sell it to you. And I'm like, okay. And I look up the value of it, and I'm like, I pay you the value for it. You know what I mean? So I'm like, I'm not gonna, you know, jinx the experience from what it would be. But all the stuff I've gotten, I've either earned the currency for or sold things and, you know, figured out ways to get it. So
yeah.
Pretty cool.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. That's pretty really, other than our own progression, I assume you haven't really made it that much further since last week with all the internet issues.
My internet's been crappy, so I got like maybe 14 watchstones now. You know, I just knocked out a couple conquerors. Other than that, not really a whole lot to note on with my progression. Yeah. How about you?
Killed Maven, baby. Maven done. Easy.
First time?
Yeah, first try.
Nice. How many deaths?
2 to memory phase.
Memory phase?
Yeah.
What's
I could have just logged out and not died, but I don't log out, so I fucking did. Yeah. Memory phase is like, there's a Simon Says phase basically, where she's like,
oh, you gotta memorize.
She makes platforms, and then you gotta like, she'll show you the platforms you're supposed to do, and then you have to like do it.
Oh man, dude,
And
I got the worst memory ever.
Yeah, I know.
I'm
And
never killing her, dude.
as the fight gets longer, like there's more phases, and so it's like right,
So
left,
can
up,
chat
up,
type it for you?
life,
I would totally
left.
cheat that. I'd be like, chat, type these out for me, because like there's no way. There's no way I'd remember
Yeah,
that.
it's tough. Even like I would consider myself good at memory games, but it's like it's not even just like the memory game, right? Because you're also like dodging the boss mechanics while you have to try to pay attention to the memory game. So it's a lot. And you know,
That's cool.
I don't know that I've seen like a few streamers like do it perfect, but most people fuck up memory phase.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
I'm scared now. Like that totally turns me off, because I'm like, I got the worst memory ever.
Yeah.
I mean, like I'll be there's a spot. And here's an example, like more in the more recent. There's a spot in GTA where there's like this heist, and you have to go rob this bank, and the dude sends you the code. He texts you the code, and it flashes up on the screen for like, I don't know, 5 seconds, 5 or 6 seconds, and you read the code, and then literally like 2 or 3 minutes later, you have to enter the safe code, which is like a 3-digit number. It's like 132972. I can't even remember that. I get to the safe, I'm like, all right, chat, what was the code? 13 what was it? And like luckily they'll type it out and then I'll know it, but
Amazing.
it's bad, man. So we'll see.
Yeah.
Maybe there's memory game helper.
Like, yeah, you know, honestly, I looked into that because like we were preparing for the fight. Or no, we'd watched someone kill Maven like day 3 or whatever. So we watched the fight and I was like, oh man. And then it showed the Simon Says face and I was like, oh God, like how embarrassing would this be as a streamer to like you just can't even pass like phase 1 or something. And so I played a little bit of Simon Says off stream because like I'll just practice up on memory. But it doesn't matter because like I could do like million phases of Simon Says or whatever that game is, the memory game.
But when you start dodging mechanics, it changes.
Yeah,
everything.
Exactly. When you're fighting, you're trying to
like
do.
Mike Tyson's like, you could have the perfect strategy till I punch you in the face,
right.
And then it's like it goes out the window,
right.
dude. So yeah, that's cool. Other than that though, I'm still working on my Atlas knowledge stuff. I think I'm getting it a lot more, but like I said, every time I think I got it figured out, I'm like, does it work like this? And people are like, nope. I'm like, okay, well, I don't know then. It's weird. Sustaining like the T14 plus keys is harder-ish for me to do at the moment. I got to figure out how to juice those better to keep getting the drops, but we talked a little bit pre-show about it. I had some ideas, so
yeah.
We'll see.
I mean, if you ever want to do some, dual streaming, you just pop your questions like crazy. Yeah, I'm sure other people could learn from it too.
Probably. We'll have to do those. Let me get my internet fixed. So, jeez, I'm surprised. I've actually frozen. I don't know if it's frozen to you. Discord's frozen for me several times.
Really?
Yeah.
Like if I frozen or just the Discord?
Discord for me. I don't know if it's actually freezing on the stream. I'm not sure.
No, it hasn't. No. I was just curious if my voice is like,
No, not that bad. But I'm just like, come on, baby, make it through the pod. That's it. Yeah, let's hit up some Twitter questions.
Wait a second.
Oh, we got
freak
more.
out.
Oh,
no.
Okay.
But
so
the fluff hates, PChild loves. What do we got?
Okay. So my loves is working internet, man. I didn't realize how much for granted I took it until it's dead for weeks at a time. Like it's pretty unbearably frustrating to get disconnected and not be able to stream. It's super frustrating to not be able to stream.
Yeah.
When that's like your job is to stream. So
have you thought about getting fiber?
Yeah. Rub it in. Rub it in. Dude, if they had fiber here, I promise you, man, that would already be done.
Yeah.
It would already be a done deal. And the crappy part is they're doing fiber installs now. Like even Spectrum, the company that I get my internet from, is like, yeah, on all of our new build outs, we're going fiber. And I'm like, oh, cool. So when are they going to roll it out here? And he's like, well, we just spent a lot re-upping the copper in this area, so probably not for a long time. I'm just like, no. It's because they just spent like $2 billion redoing like my city with copper lines, like 5 years ago or something.
Yeah.
And now they're like, yeah, not gonna happen, bud.
Well, it's St. Louis, so like, how long until those lines get dug up and people steal the copper?
Oh, like tomorrow.
Yeah. Okay. So you're good. Then they'll
good, yeah. gonna have to move to Kansas City, man. Get some Google fiber. What company provides your fiber?
Google.
Is it Google?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I thought they stopped the build out.
Yeah, that's what they told. Like that's what like when I moved here, like I was basically buying into the fact that I would never have fiber because they were done expanding and stuff. And then all of a sudden, I saw a Google Fiber like van outside of my house, and I was like, "What are you guys doing?" I'm like, "Oh yeah, we're putting Google Fiber."
Bullshit.
I was like, "What?"
I'm not gonna lie, Fluff. That's bullshit. I hate you a little bit for that. Like, I dislike you a little bit more just for that fact that you got so lucky with that. Man.
I really did. But I mean, my internet, to be fair, was pretty consistent for the most part with Spectrum, unironically.
Oh man, mine's been consistently.
But I would drop like I don't know, like 80 frames a stream because of like a 7K bit rate or something like it was. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
still drives me crazy.
I run 8 all time. Like that's the max that Twitch will let you get away with before they start getting super pissed off. And I do it. And so I've even dropped it down to 6 lately, just like the normal, just like please work. And it doesn't matter, man. So, but I've had months of period where I've had 0 frame drop streams. And it's just like, I just have these spurts of complete, utter crap of several weeks. But this one's been the worst of all of them. So,
yeah.
But yeah, man, I miss it. You take it for granted. When it works, you just do your thing and play games and stream and everything's happy and you don't think about it. And then when it doesn't work, you're like, I hate you. And then you try to explain to people why you need it to be consistent. And they're like, yeah, get effed, dude. I don't care. It's not my problem.
Yeah.
You know? So.
Yeah.
What you got for some loves? What are you loving on this week?
Well, first of all, what I love is that right there.
Oh, you're doing it during the pod too. Okay. All right. Yeah. Okay. All right. I hope you drop frames on the pod. I'm looking.
I would never drop a frame. Look at that speed. Are you kidding me?
I'm disconnecting. Can I just?
Woo! Whoa, man, that's nice. All right, so
you're lucky I can't just kill the camera. Hold on.
Oh, he's out.
Yeah, I'm done. Oh man,
that's my loves. But no, Fluff hates
that 1 second ping time. That 1 ms ping. You fucking asshole, dude.
I honestly hate. There's a lot of people this league saying like, you know, basically fuck Harvest. Like we don't want Harvest, and I gotta say I completely disagree. I think that you know, it's a bit tunnel vision to like think like just because you play a lot and it's like OP for you, right? That it's bad for the game, right? Because you know we come from the Diablo 3 world where there's a lot of like really, really casual players,
right?
And like discounting those and just like ruling them out at all, like 'cause Harvest is just great for those players. Like you said, you didn't really understand Harvest, but you got in there and you're able to craft something that you could use.
Yeah, I was able. So like when I did SSF League for Harvest League, I was able to make things that I needed as a brand new player. I didn't make anything OP, but I got stuff that like benefited my build, you know. Now that they put it back in, I don't know how to use it right.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like I don't even know could I learn these things? Sure. I could go watch a bunch of videos and figure, you know, try to learn it if I wanted to, but I'm okay with not understanding everything the first go round. Like I can learn stuff as I go through and play. And I think that's the approach a lot of casuals should take. So they don't try to like, it shouldn't be a work. It shouldn't be like, hey, I'm going to college class. I'm going to POE 101 today,
right?
You know, not every day. But yeah, I could definitely learn some things from it, but I'm using it still. Like when I see them, I'm like, okay, let's go in there and look at the things and try to figure out what I could juice. And if nothing else, you can use it to get some maps. You know, you can do things with your maps.
Yeah, true.
You know,
ton of applications. Yeah,
but it's cool. Like it's not exciting for me as a new player, though. I will say that. Like it's not. I don't get super excited when I see it because I go, well, I don't really know how to make the OP stuff yet, but that's cool. But I've had people come in my stream and link things to me. You know, like Chuck comes in and is like, yo, look at this physical weapon I made, which is like perfect for my build.
Right.
So I understand what it is. He's like, yeah, it's worth like 10x. I'm like, yeah, I know.
Wait, sometimes
like,
Chuck mains were 10x? I don't believe you.
That's what
As a casual.
So, but it was a nice weapon though. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, oh, that's juicy. And it's like, if you know what you're doing, you can see the potential in it. I can see the potential. I'm like, oh man, that's crazy. So,
yeah. Once you start to understand, like, you know, like prefixes and suffixes, and each of those has like a affix, basically, like physical, chaos, lightning, kill, all that. Once you understand that, like harvest is, I mean, getting a harvest on a map is like a straight dopamine hit because it's so good.
You're like, oh, I'm gonna make this thing.
Yeah,
my thing with harvest is how it kills the momentum though. Like if you're going through smashing a map and then you see it and it's like, I think they should let you throw that to your hideout. Like, okay, here's the lady,
but only 10 of them.
Oh, you can go back to your hideout and do the pod later?
Yeah, you can do 10 times.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's a hoarder crafting station. You just click that when you bring up the harvest menu, and you can store the 10 different recipes.
But you have to go in and kill the things inside the.
But that's fine. Like if you only had to go up to them, click them, and kill, and then like leave later, that'd be great. But the fact is 10, and you're like, so you sit on this like augment physical modifier for like forever. 100 maps until you finally can hit like a Crusader chest that's got 2 physical, and you can hit slam, and you know, finally it paid off. But like you just sit on it until then, and you only have 9 more slots, and so like that just perpetuates. And so a lot of people are like, just remove the cap on the storage device. Like, why is it 10?
Millions of them. Yeah.
And so then if you're like, you know what, I really need to craft a good pair of boots. Okay, let's go over to my hoarder crafting station and look through my like 50 augments that I have, and can I make something good? I think that's what a lot of people, obviously that'd be fucking fantastic for SSF, and I would love that, but
that'd be super powerful too.
Yeah.
So you'd have a lot of people doing what you're hating right now, which is the argument of it's ruining the game, right?
Yeah, and so, but that too is
they don't have to use it though. So why is it ruining it for them? Like,
well, because what people are doing right now is like, obviously harvest crafting is super strong, and it's super focused. So like, you really know what you want. You can get basically what you want if you're lucky enough. And so what people are doing is there's basically a harvest Discord. There's an entire Discord on POE devoted to this harvest, and so people are just like hitting harvest maps and then posting in the Discord like, hey, I've got this willing to sell. And so people just end up sitting in the harvest until like someone comes along and buys that 10x augment.
So you can get a harvest league. You can get a harvest. Like, let's say we were both playing trade, and you get a harvest league. You go in, you kill the monsters, and you get the craft. I can join you and then still use that craft on the station.
Yeah.
Just make it to where you can't do that. Like once you pop it.
I agree. Make it where you can't do that, and unlimit the craft. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm with that too. But then they would be like, hey, I want to buy the craft. You know what I mean? Like, hey, all right, so 10C and I have 3 of them. You know what I mean?
Right. I think that's what people want.
Give me the item and I'll pop it on you. Like pop it on your item, I guess. I don't know. So then, yeah. How would you know that they actually did that?
Yeah, that's POE in a nutshell. If you're like, a lot of people will like not run multi-mod, and then they'll just buy multi-mod, and so they have to like basically give their item to someone else and trust them to like multi-mod it and give it back. Like that's the whole like weirdness of POE. And there's really nothing baked into the game that says like someone can't just steal your item and run away. Like there's no consequence really.
Right. Yeah.
It's weird. But it's open trade. Like it sucks, you know? So hopefully
that's what it is.
Yeah.
You're taking the risk, I guess. You know what I mean? So
yeah. D4 can figure out something way better than
they should have an auction house system in the game anyways.
Yeah.
Like you said, the only reason to not have it is to see people's hideout stuff. And I've only seen one hideout that I was like, oh, this is dope.
Yeah.
In all my trading, I've been like, why did you set it? This is stupid. Like mine set up, no money has been spent, and it's set up in the easiest, like waypoint, stash, map device, and then all the guys in a line, and then like one vendor next to me to unveil items. I'm just like I want simplicity. I want my people right where I need them. I don't care what it looks like. Like I want convenience, you know?
Yeah.
But there's been one guy where I saw it and I was like, oh, this is dope.
Right.
So
I was watching Quinn the other day, and he went to join someone's hideout, and it was like they'd build the Pepega on the ground or something like that. Like a giant Pepega, like the frog thing.
That's funny.
Yeah.
With what? Like, what
I
did they
don't know.
build it
Some
with?
kind of like bushes or flowers or something.
So was it like crying? Was it like the cry meme, or
Yeah.
which one
It
was it?
looked, it looked 100% like accurate, but it was
Oh,
like
that's
built out
cool.
of, yeah.
Yeah, something like that would be funny.
Yeah.
But
But yeah,
is
that's
that
it.
your hates?
Yeah.
There's no Ted
Yeah.
Lasso.
That was last week. I just hadn't deleted
Oh,
it.
okay. You hated on Ted Lasso
No, I
last week?
loved it last week. We switched last week.
Oh, you put
You were
hate
the
on it.
toxic
Okay.
one.
Yeah, I was supposed to watch that, and
Well, now you got all the time in the world because your internet's dead. What's the problem?
no, you can't stream a fucking movie when your internet doesn't work.
Just download it when it works.
Oh
Or go
my
to
God,
go
dude,
get a Starbucks coffee and download the
I'm gonna
show.
rage. Like, I don't know if you saw the tweet I threw out, but it was
Yeah.
like the tweet's got Jack Nicholson. He replied to it, actually throwing all the pans off that shelf. Like, I was literally at that point today where I was like, I'm gonna break shit because my internet's not working. It's
That
driving
sucks.
me nuts. So, Twitter questions, man. Let's hit them up. If you guys want to submit questions to the podcast, you can tweet them to me at ThaPChild or at Lord__Fluffy, or drop them in our Discord. We have some new meta sections in there where you can ask your questions. The first question comes from Hex. Hex says, Diablo and Mathiel get into a fight. Who wins?
I would hope Diablo, but
I mean, Mathiel's a harder boss.
yeah, that's why it's so silly. Every Diablo game, and I hope Diablo 4 solves this. Every Diablo game,
Diablo,
like Diablo's the vanilla boss, and then you know, there's an expansion, and then there's a harder boss that's not Diablo. Like, that's so backwards.
Yeah. In D3, Mathiel would kick Diablo's ass. Yeah. But Diablo is what I'm going to answer.
Yeah, it should be Diablo. The answer should always be, well, Diablo would kick that dude's ass.
Yeah.
But POE doesn't really have... They've got Awakener, so it's like, would Awakener kill Diablo? Yeah, right now, sure, of course. Would Maven kill Diablo? Yeah. There's no boss in Diablo 3 that's like what you're chasing. I feel
okay,
like.
let's take out the in-game mechanical aspects of it from a RP/badassness standpoint. Is Diablo kicking Awakener's ass?
Dude, there is literally no rhyme or reason to anything in PoE in my eyes. Like, Awakener's just a dude. Until recently, like, Awakener, like, you kill these Conqueror guys, and eventually you fight the Awakener, and there's nothing building you up to that fight. You know, you don't know who that even is. It's just some guy. Yeah. And it's like what am I even doing? I don't know the
story of PoE. I paid zero fucking attention to it every time I've leveled up. Yeah. I get a very basic rundown, like, because from the stuff that you kind of like hear as you're skipping the dialogue. And it's like, you wash up on the shore. Why? I don't know. Do you know why you wash up on the shore in the very first act?
I think they're going to explain that in PoE. Like, in the demo of PoE 2, you had escaped being executed, and then you jumped off this like big
I thought
building.
That was like just new canon. That's old canon revisited,
I think. Yeah. And that's why
so you washed up on this shore, and then it's just like they're calling you exile, like you got kicked out of a place, I assume, and I don't know. And then so you show up in town, and they're like, "Hey, go do this quest for me," and you're like, "Okay, cool, I'll do this quest because I'm naked and I just washed up on the beach." And then before you know it, you're like, this demon lady's like, "Yo, I banish you," and then you gotta like do it all again.
And you kill like gods along the way. I don't know.
Just like, what the fuck's going on here? Yeah. I don't care, but it's fun pew-pewing people, so let's just keep doing it. So yeah, I don't know the story of PoE. Maybe someday
I think that
look it up.
Maven, actually, I don't know if you've experienced Maven a little bit. I think Maven's they do a better job, because Maven's like kind of there looming at all times. Like, she'll like join in on a boss fight if you're, you know. I think they just do a better job of introducing Maven as an endgame boss than Awakener.
Yeah, because she comes and taunts you a little bit beforehand. Yeah. She's and like the Envoy guy comes out and he's like, Maven's gonna watch.
Right.
The Envoy, do you get to kick his ass? Like, he's a little.
Now he just likes to say poetry and just like, cool.
He needs it. Like, he needs an ass whooping. Like, he needs to pop in sometime, and you're just like, you know what, dude? I've had enough.
Maybe
of you talking shit all the time.
I mean, he looks cooler than Maven, so maybe.
Yeah, let's get your ass.
The Maven fight is really well done. I really, you know, if you ask me, Awakener 8 is messy. I don't think it's a good fight. I think visually it's not a good fight. If you just lose track of where Awakener goes, you're dead. Like if you're not like a good player or you haven't built your character out right. Whereas you could go in the Maven fight with like Z DPS, and just as long as you do your mechanics, like you would eventually kill her. Whereas I don't feel like that's really true on Awakener, because there's just like so many random dumb things.
I have a lot of complaints about mechanically with PoE. And some of it's just like new player get good, and some of it's like this is an ARPG. I don't feel like it should play this way. Like I don't like. So I went in to do the Poison Snake Conqueror guy. I don't remember his name.
Yeah.
Alex. I don't know. Fuck. But whatever his name is, the poison guy. And you go in there, and I'm kicking his ass like super fast, right? And all of a sudden, I get shot by 3 poison darts that come from off screen, and they all hit me at the same time. There's like 0 reaction time to it because I'm in a cast animation that even if I could cancel it, it's like fraction of a second. And they hit me, and so the boss is dead. I killed the boss, but the poison ticks down and kills me. And I'm like, I don't even know what hit. I don't know. And if I didn't have my replay from my stream, I wouldn't have even been able to see what it was that hit me. And so as a new player, I look at that and I'm like, okay, well, part of me is like, you didn't know the mechanics, which is fine. Like, you're a new player, you shouldn't. That's okay. But the second part was like, you never even got to see them though. Like, they shot you from off screen. So like, how? I guess I had already killed him, so next time I fight him, if it happens again, then I just like go
you'd like poured it away
from
him though, right? Like, wasn't that all of a sudden you never engaged him and he shot you from off screen? No, you were in a boss fight.
I was killing the boss, and the boss did not shoot me with the poison. My chat was telling me it was snakeheads. That you have encountered it before the arena.
Face, like, yeah.
You've seen the snakeheads throughout the whole map, right? So it's just kind of like. It doesn't feel good. Like, I don't care that I died. Like, that's fine. I don't care if I'm the best PoE player or the worst on the planet. That's not the discussion. The discussion is it just doesn't feel good. It doesn't feel good to get hit by something off screen that you've never seen and have it one shot you. You know what I mean? It's like,
That is the big problem with Path of Exile, is like, so
no combat log,
no combat log, no way to know,
happened.
right? So you got shot by poison, and now that's a fine mechanic, right? Like that. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah,
it's
cool.
The fact that, like, okay, how were you supposed to know that you got hit by a poison? B, like, I guess be trained to know that you could probably have a poison cure on a flask, and then you would just like cure it that way, and make sure you don't go into like hunter maps without a poison cure flask. And it doesn't train you very well to do that, but obviously that's the play. But the game doesn't steer you towards that.
Next time to go to have a poison potion, and I'm gonna do that. Flip it out, right?
Yeah.
Put the poison potion on.
Yeah.
Like, that's cool, and that's very logistical. That makes sense,
right?
And like, okay, cool, I'll do that next time. But the problem, I think, is that
it doesn't train you to do that.
It shot me from off screen. It instant killed me from one hit, and there's no combat log, no mechanic, nothing telling me you died by this or this is what hit you. You're just like, I'm just dead. I'm like, okay, let me rewatch the replay a couple times. Yo, chat, anybody know what this is? Because as a new player, I had no idea what this is. And they're like, oh yeah, it's the snakeheads. They were up off the screen and they shot you. And they're like, oh, okay, I would never have known that. You know what I mean? So like, but that's just the isolated incident. I feel like this happens a lot in PoE, where it's like, damn, man, I hope that this is like one of my biggest gripes with the game, and that's like goes back to my mechanical gameplay. Like, I think the game from an intellectual point is just like ridiculous, right? Like, they put so much thought into all their systems and their gearing and all these things, but then when it comes to mechanically playing the game, it's just like, man, I don't know. That stuff turns me off a little bit.
I get it.
Yeah. So that's it. That's my rant. That's my little like, man. The first question we have comes from Hex, and Hex says, we already did that. Sorry. Jake says, you can snap your fingers like Thanos in game, and poof, one class from Diablo's history. What do you pick? So you're snapping a class out of Diablo.
Oh, just out of Diablo?
Yeah, I think this is gonna be really easy to answer.
It's mean at this point. We pick on it all the time, but it is the worst class in the history of Diablo, probably. The Witch Doctor.
Witch Doctor.
Easily.
Ghost, man. Done.
Bye.
Gone. Peace. Yep. It would be. I might pick Necro just to fuck with Fluff if I had the option.
Oh my god!
I'd be like, Fluff, what you got for me? You shit my pillow back.
I wouldn't snap my fingers. Like, why would I want to give a game that has so few classes even less classes? That'd be so selfish of me. I just have to make sure that I don't ever do this because I don't want to actually delete Witch Doctor for people.
I don't know what are some classes from D1. Like I haven't even really played it. Like, did it have Warrior, Barb? What did they call their Warrior class?
I think it was just Warrior.
Yeah. So I don't know, man. Amazon maybe, because I don't play that now. I might in D4 if they put it in there. Who knows?
Yeah.
But it'd be Witch Doctor.
But there's no part of the Witch Doctor like theme that I am interested in.
But yeah, the class itself.
Yeah.
Like he's why does he fidget? Why does he shake like that? Like, stop it, dude.
He's like a voodoo guy. I get it. I get the idea.
Voodoo guys gotta shake. They have to be like.
Well, yeah, sure.
Do they?
Yeah. Well, watch some weird voodoo videos on YouTube. Like, voodoo people are fucking weird.
Okay, I guess. Maybe I don't know enough about voodoo.
I watched this whole special on like voodoo stuff, and there's like a whole tribe in Africa where they do a ritual where they basically, I mean, I'm sure they're acting, but they get like possessed by their voodoo god, and then they inflict like self-harm, like a lot, and like because the god wants them to do that, and the more self-harm they inflict, like the more their god is like appeased.
So if they can like take the brink of death, then
yeah, they're straight up like cutting themselves and like smashing bottles over their heads and like,
yeah,
it's weird. It's fucking weird. Voodoo's weird.
Weird, dude. Yeah. Larimer, I guess Larimer. I'm not sure how to say your name. I apologize. He says, if you could, what QOL features would you like to see added to PoE? For instance, I wish there was an identify all item in my hideout similar to Deckard Cain.
Yeah, that would be nice. I think the one thing that is looming over PoE's head right now is, so they just added this quality of life stash tab affinity. Did you ever figure that out, by the way, to control?
Yeah,
okay,
we got it working. Yeah, it's super nice. Too.
So nice. But the one thing that's still looming is heist. So heist, you get the contracts, and it's just like,
you get that stupid locker. Or
yeah,
whatever.
And you get the heist locker, even though that could just be a stash tab. But I know like people freak out if they made it a stash tab, because then it's another stash tab that you have to buy.
But you still have to buy so many still, though.
I know,
it's ridiculous. Like, I don't have the Delirium one yet.
Yeah, well, you don't. I mean, I don't really need it.
You don't have to have
Delirium and Blight are like Delirium and Metamorph are the most worthless stash tabs ever purchased. But yeah, so I think that they've done so much to clean up like the time you spend in town, that heist just like, it just ruins it. And that's my feedback on heist in general right now. It takes you out that great flow that I was talking about of how all the past leagues have kind of like really been kind of brought to the surface and like min-maxed with the Atlas skill trees. And then there's just heist. Heist is like this whole separate game mode that just fucking sucks. And like, it just takes you out of that great gameplay.
Tell me how you
loop.
really feel about heist.
It's awful. But it's so unfortunate because there are so many replica uniques, and that's the really, really sad part. There's so many replica uniques.
What is a replica unique?
A replica unique is a unique that exists, but it's been altered in some way to like, I mean, these are build defining items. So like, I could go in and I could probably run like 20 heists and I get one item. I'm like, ooh, I can make a build around that. That'd be sick. But I'm never going to do it because it's locked behind heists. And that's the only way to get replica uniques. And you can't just spam grand heists because you have to run a bunch of contracts to get unlocks for each wing and stuff like that. It's the worst. It's the worst system in the world. And I just cannot stand it. And it's unfortunately still part of the game.
Zero heist. I haven't even gotten my locker because to get the locker, they require you to use the rogue tokens like out in the area somewhere, and like I haven't done it. I just throw them in my stash. Yeah. Like, I don't know. Honestly, I don't have an opinion on heist yet because I haven't done it. But you say it sucks so bad that I'm like, I'm not even messing with it right now. So
I mean, it's worth running. It's so rewarding. It just sucks. There's no easy way to say that. It sucks.
It's unfortunate, man. Super unfortunate. I would say for quality of life that I would like. I think your suggestion, honestly, an identify thing in town would be cool because it sucks having to keep scrolls either on your inventory or opening up the tab, you know, in your stash to do it.
So how do you feel about D4 having the scrolls?
Are they going to give us another way? Scrolls are okay. I don't know, man. I don't know if I like scrolls. Like, why do you need the scroll? It's something you have to pick up. It's an inventory slot wasted.
But it does give you that option. So, right. So say you're in a rift. The only thing you can really do to know, like, I've got an inventory full of stuff that I think could be upgrades, but I have to go port back to town in D3 to just ID them. And then if that's POE, you lose one of your attempts to do the map, right?
Well, you don't have to in D3. You can't individually scan every item. It just takes time.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah. So it would be a waste. It's just a time waste. In all honesty, man, I hate picking up the scrolls. That's the biggest problem to me is looting the scrolls of wisdom and looting the town portals, because those are fundamental basics of the game. You're going to ID loot. You're going to teleport back to town. Those things shouldn't eat up my inventory space and or have a limit on how many times I can do them. And you pick up so many that's not really a limit anyways. Like I've never run out of town portals. I've never run out of wisdom scrolls, you know, so maybe because I picked too many up.
Yeah.
But
you don't. Are you still picking them up?
No,
okay,
I turned them off a while back. So, but it's like, you know, so those would be good quality of life. Something better than that, maybe. I don't know. Like, I still hate picking up items in this game. Mechanically, from a mechanical standpoint, you click on an item and your character runs the exact opposite way of the nameplate. And then sometimes he'll pick it up. Sometimes he won't. Sometimes it just feels horrible.
Yeah, I agree.
To loot in this game, especially after playing Diablo. Like Diablo 3 does that fine. Like it loots very well. You can actually loot pretty fast in Diablo 3. I don't have a lot of trouble. Lost Ark loots better than everything. Yeah. So like you could just do that loot system and that would be fine. It doesn't make any sense why they don't steal that. So that would be my quality of life improvement, honestly, would be add Lost Ark looting to POE.
Yeah.
And then I remember everybody that played it would be like, holy shit, this is amazing.
I remember the first time I saw there's an option in the UI options for pickup key. And so I immediately saw that and I was like, oh my God, sweet. I could just assign this to like F or G and then just walk up near the item and I click the key and I was like, go pick it up. But it's no, it's like some modifier key you have to hold down while you click it. And it's just like, why? This isn't a pickup key. This is like some bullshit. Like hold
for what game?
It's POE. So there's a key where, so like you won't accidentally pick something up. Like you actually have to hold down a loot pickup key and then click the item to pick it up. Otherwise it won't actually click it up.
Yeah, Lost Ark had a key that you could assign to pick up loot.
Yeah. And you just click it.
I bound it. I bound it on my mouse. Like I have like all these extra buttons on my mouse.
Yeah. Fantastic.
And so I was just like, boom, let's put one of those buttons as loot button. And then so when I wanted to loot, I just hit that button and it was glorious, man.
Yeah, for sure.
Character didn't run around like an idiot. You just you had it in your inventory. So it was cool. I think that would be a great addition if they were going to talk about you know, quality of life. What else do we have? Man, Smooby says, the main character of the last show you watched is now your IRL job. What would you do for a living?
Karate instructor.
Oh, you watched Karate Kid last? So I started watching this new series on HBO called, and I think it's called The Outsider. I'm trying to see. It's got the dude from Ozark. What's the guy from Ozark's name?
Jason.
Yeah, that's it. Jason.
Statham? No, Statham.
Not Statham. He's the action hero, dude.
Bateman.
Yeah. So I started watching this. I only watched the one episode. I watched it last night. It's called The Outsider, I'm pretty sure. And it's the main character is a baseball coach, I guess. So I would be a baseball coach. So it's pretty. Prior to that, the show I watched was I finally finished Raised by Wolves. I had 2 episodes of that to watch, and that show got super weird, super fast. I don't know what the main character of that, I guess, is a mother. So I would be a mother for my real
That's
job.
nice.
Yeah, it'd be awesome. Demonic Grizz says thoughts on Crash Bandicoot coming to the Battle.net launcher.
Wait, what?
Yeah, so I didn't see this either because I turned off all the games I don't give a shit about. But if you open up your Battle.net launcher and you click all games, if you've customized the new launcher, then you won't see it. But if you click all games, Crash Bandicoot 4 is on the Battle.net launcher. Thoughts?
What? Like you would just
He's like, wait a minute.
play that like on the PC?
Yeah, it's a PC game. I'm interested to see all the unlimited frames. Like I love playing console games at high frame rate, but I don't know anything about. I mean, I don't know a lot about the game. I don't care personally. Like, listen, if Blizzard wants to like try to be Steam competitor, go for it. But they don't have a shot. So, like, they got to change. They have to open their store up to all publishers, and they're not going to do that. Like, I just don't see them doing that if they want to be a competitor. So I don't like. Obviously, Activision somehow must own Crash Bandicoot's company, parent, or producer. So I don't know, man. I don't know what to think about it. I don't care because my Battle.net launcher, which I can't show off right now, it doesn't show it for me when I load in because it just shows the games that I like. I have mine set to show me World of Warcraft, Diablo 3, and Overwatch because those are the 3 games from Blizzard that I play. Everything else I turned off. So
mine just shows me the Blizzard game. I don't know that I ever did a setting, but I definitely don't see like memes.
I turned those other games off. Yeah, I like removed them from my top bar. I was like, no, just show me these 3. That's all I care about.
Is that a beta launcher thing or is this the main launcher?
It updated for me automatically. I think it's like it was the beta launcher, but I think it's like it's the launcher now. They get replaced, the old one. So yeah, kind of crazy. Yeah, that's cool. I don't care if Activision pushes their games in the Battle.net launcher. It's like it's not as intrusive as Steam or Epic Games, or any of them, man. Like even the Uplay, what's the Uplay one called? Ubisoft Connect is the Uplay one. So like on those launchers, Epic Games has a pop-up that shows up in your taskbar, like near your clock in their computer every day. It'll be like, yo, these games are on sale or these games are free. And that's like super annoying. You can probably turn it off. Uplay has an ad that pops up all the time that you can't even turn off. Like after your game closes or one time a day, it'll actually pop up a thing. And so at least Battle.net hasn't gone to forced ads yet. So
yeah, that's one of the things I've noticed on the Path of Exile wiki lately. They now have like a pop-up every single time you like load a page. There's like a pop-up. I was like, what the fuck? How often I have to refresh this damn page, and now you got like an ad that's gonna pop up every time.
Yeah, cringe. It sucks, man. I mean, I get it. They're trying to make money, but I don't know.
Sucks.
There's a limit. Like third parties, okay. Like if you're a third party website hosting POE information, like you're trying to pay bills, you're covering your hosting costs, whatever. That's cool. I'm okay with that. But like the game itself, Blizzard.com, it's like Blizzard running Google ads on Blizzard's main website. Like that's unacceptable in my opinion. Like so GGG, Blizzard, all these things. And I also kind of feel the same about YouTube content from these big companies too. So let's say GGG puts out its next league trailer and they put a commercial on the trailer. They monetize that YouTube video for the trailer. To me, that's scumbaggy.
I agree.
You know what I mean? I'm just like, dude.
It's also kind of scumbaggy to me. Like IGN just basically reposts videos and they get more video clicks than the actual like creators. That's scumbaggy to me too. Yeah. Like if you look on Google, the Diablo 4 cinematic trailer, Blizzard has less views than IGN does.
Yep. And IGN's got the ads. Like all the clicks and they run the ads on it. Yeah.
Scummy.
Yeah, that is super scummy. Maybe we should start doing that.
Yeah.
Like your Diablo 4 trailer posted on my channel straight up with nothing else on there. Yeah, it's kind of weird, man. So yeah, I don't personally care though, man. I'm fine with Battle.net having all. They could just be the Activision Games Launcher. Like they could rename it to Activision's Game Launcher. That's fine because that's kind of what it is now.
Yeah.
Maester Mages says, what serial mascot is most likely to be a serial killer IRL? Serial mascot, serial killer.
They're all kind of weird, right? Because they're like,
Who do we got? We got Tony the Tiger.
Obsessed with kids,
creepy.
right? They're all creepy in their own right.
We got the little leprechaun dude.
You know who's fucking creepy? Count Chocula.
Yeah, definitely. It would be, yeah. Well, I don't even want to say that on the podcast, but yeah, I'm trying to think who else. Count Chocula would be like, "Hey, want to get in my van?"
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like that's Count. Who else? Who else do we have? Okay, so Lucky Charms, dude, is the little leprechaun guy. Count Chocula, the bunny, Tony the Tiger.
There is already like a serial killer leprechaun, so that's a pretty good one too, right? Like there's like a whole horror movie series around a leprechaun.
The Tricks Rabbit, yeah. Peyton Manning was on cereal boxes. Can we count him? He was on Wheaties.
He would be a serial killer for sure because he's got the CTE.
I'm going with Peyton Manning. His head is huge. Like he's got this big, like just thing going on up here. It's definitely extra brain juice for a serial killer.
CTE, dude. But Captain Crunch guy too, right?
Yeah, him too.
The Cap.
I'm trying to think of what other cereals there could be. Who's your vote?
Yeah, I'm going Count Chocula.
Count Jockey?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'm gonna go with Lucky Charms, dude. So let's see. Koi Fish 391 says, what's something you learned from a video game? You learn any things, any skills, any knowledge? I learned what a cauldron was from a video game. As a kid, I did not know what a cauldron was. I don't know if that's common knowledge or not, but
yeah,
I remember being in my late teens and being like, what the hell is a cauldron? And then I'm like, oh, it's that big pot that they're cooking the stuff in. That's interesting. And I also remember learning what the word quaff meant. Quaff.
Okay. From video games. What games were you playing?
Quaffing a potion. It was the guy said in the text, he says, I'm going to quaff this potion. And I'm like, what the hell does that mean? And then so that's to drink it.
So they should call the Pathfinder Quaffer and POE. Is that what it is?
Does he drink lots of potions?
Yeah, the Pathfinder. People call it Potion Finder basically because like your whole ascendancy is designed around just spamming your potions more.
Why? Your potions do how do they do damage? You got damage potions?
Wait, you don't know how potions do damage?
I mean, not inherently. I know how they buff you to do more damage.
No, there's a lot of potions out there that boost your damage by a ton. You're lacerate glad, so Lion's Roar. So you have a Lion's Roar.
That increases your damage. It gives you a bunch of armor and gives you damage, but it's not doing the damage. Like my attack's still doing the damage. I thought you meant like
more attack or something like that. Crazy.
Yeah, it's like some attack speed. I thought you meant like the potion was like causing the damage.
No,
is what I was thinking. Yeah. Are you playing POE right now?
No. Why?
I just hear clicks.
I'm on Google.
he's fucking click. Okay, pause over. No, let's see. So what did you learn? What have you learned from a video game?
Honestly, that's probably true. There's probably a lot of terms that are like very like I never got into Dungeons and Dragons or like any kind of role play, fantasy, whatever. It's just been video games for me, really. So there's honestly probably a ton of terms that I would have never have known.
Yeah, like all of them. Like Minotaur, Centaur.
Yeah, fantasy stuff. Yeah.
Everything, man.
Yeah. And I would almost say like the ability to just like put your head down and like learn something. But I think that's more from engineering school than just from video games. But
yeah. Definitely all the weird terminology that medieval people would use, like any of that thing. Like oh man, I'm trying to think. Like even WoW. Like I don't know. I'm trying to think of the word. I can't like a Yeti, like the big snow monster. Like I didn't know what a Yeti was until I killed them in WoW. Like I'm just like, it's not common knowledge that you talk about Yetis. You know what I mean? And then so I thought Yeti was kind of like exclusive to WoW until I saw it in another game, and I'm like, oh, so like Yeti's not creature, like a WoW made up thing. It's like a thing, and then you start to realize, because WoW was the first like fantasy, super crazy fantasy game that I like. It's not even super fantasy, but I was more of like a sports game and like shooters and GTA, like dumb stuff. And
so you never played EverQuest or anything like that?
No, never played EverQuest. None of them. I did play like some like Baldur's Gate and like Neverwinter Nights and things like that back in the early, late 90s and stuff like that. And that, I think it was one of those games where I learned Quaff and some other stuff, but like, I don't think they had Yetis, at least in the stuff that I did in Neverwinter, so it's like, oh, that's cool. Don't know what that means. And now it's kind of, you look back at like, yeah, how dumb are you? You don't know what a Yeti is? Like, come on, dude. So
you've been quaffing, bro?
Yeah, quaffing. You gonna quaff that potion, dude? Boom goes to Jeff. Says, what is a food combination that you love and other people think is crazy? I don't know if I've talked about this in the pod. I definitely have one. And it's amazing. I know I've talked about it on stream. I don't know if I talked about it on the pod. Pizza rolls
and
ketchup.
That's so fucking
God.
American.
Listen, no,
oh my God.
Try it, dude. You gotta try it.
No, ketchup's disgusting. Ketchup's literally disgusting. You put ketchup on your steak, don't you?
I put that shit on everything.
You put ketchup on your steak, don't you?
Yes. It's better than A1 sauce. It's so good. Listen, ketchup is amazing.
No.
But ketchup on pizza rolls, it brings out a spiciness. I don't have an explanation.
Spicy?
Listen, no sense. I'm telling you. Put ketchup on a pizza roll and try it.
No.
It's delicious. Do it.
No.
Yep.
It must be like I have kids, so I must have ketchup and pizza rolls on hand at all times. I just don't ever have pizza rolls or ketchup. No.
What?
I don't eat fries, so I don't like have a reason to have ketchup.
How do you not eat French fries?
I don't like French fries, man.
Curly fries?
I mean, if they have like season on them, they're edible, but I don't like want to go out of my way to eat some fries.
Oh my God. All right, so give me one. What you got?
I don't know that I have anything.
Pretty un-American to not like French fries. I'm just throwing that out there.
I mean, I can't have a pizza without hot sauce. I gotta have
without hot sauce on
I gotta
pizza?
have hot sauce for my crust.
The fuck? Yeah. Don't ever talk about my
Listen, that's actually a St. Louis thing, buddy. So you just back up.
Hot sauce is definitely a Midwestern St. Louis-ish area thing. Like a lot of people in St. Louis put hot sauce on a lot of shit. I don't know if that's a Southern thing. Missouri's not. St. Louis isn't Southern, I don't think, but people put hot sauce on all kinds of shit here in St. Louis, so I could see that. It's nasty, but I can see that. And then the last question of the night comes from Ryan X LOLOLX.
Good name.
Sorry, dude. If a spaceship landed outside your house and the door opened, would you walk inside?
Oh, fuck yeah.
Hold on. Let's talk about this for a second. Spaceships flying in, right?
Yeah.
And it's a big it's just like the stereotypical like dumbass spaceship, big circle disc.
Yeah.
Okay, and it lands. Smoke's coming out, the whole thing, the little landing walkway drops down. You can walk up into it. Black as fuck inside. You can't see nothing.
Sure.
Like you can't see a single thing inside this door.
Yeah. I got my phone on me. It's like boop.
No, like you're shining your light, but it's nothing. It's like eating the light up. Yeah. It's just you don't know what's
I go in unless there's like tentacles, like along the side of the doorway or something. It's like
what if you hear noises? Like what does it take to make you be like, no, I'm not doing that?
It probably wouldn't take a lot. It'd obviously be a very scary experience, but in the end, I feel like the desire for knowledge of the unknown would win.
Outweighs death.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
don't know.
It'd be that one in a bazillion chance to be like the first person to interact with another species or to know more things than the human knows. Like that would be very exciting.
By them.
Or to die. It's a gamble. Yeah. It's a gamble.
I mean, they're outside your house. You're probably dead either way, right? If they wanted you dead,
like, they would have shot a laser beam at you. Yeah.
Yeah, you're dead. I'm with you, man. I think I would go on the spaceship. The only hesitation I would have would be the aggressiveness of the aircraft and just the vibe, because there's definitely a vibe. There's a friendly vibe, and there's like you're gonna die vibe.
Your alien ship is very aggressive.
Yeah, it's like, why does your spaceship look like it's got laser beams pointing at my head or something? I don't know. But also the family, man. It's like, are my kids standing at the door watching me walk on this ship? Like, I don't know. That would be kind of, traumatize the kids for life. Yeah, my dad got on the spaceship in 2021.
Never saw him again.
He never saw him again. He just was gone. So I don't know. Yeah. But yeah, probably would. I'm with you. That's it. That's all the questions we had. If you guys want to submit questions to the podcast, you can tweet them at ThaPChild, at Lord_Fluffy, or in our Discords. I see a lot of people were asking live. I take the questions all the way up until about 10 minutes before the podcast starts, and we'll go collect them. So if you want to ask questions, you can ask them for next week right now in the Discords. And catch you guys next week for episode 134.
Yeah. 134. See you guys.
Peace.